Hello again, Steve and Lori Carmichael. Lori's going to be my wonderful camera woman today. And what we're going to try to do is help you with the Air and Surface Pro Plus. That's the unit that you can engage ozone in. And we're going to help you protect your investment by giving you a few maintenance tips, okay? So what you need to know is in your manual. And one of the things that comes in that manual plastic bag is a little screwdriver. But the factory tightness, I'm going to show you. We're going to use a Phillips and a flathead. And I'll show you why in a minute. And even a little pair of pliers. So first thing you want to make sure of, and some people are missing this, is when you put your unit together, make sure that this cord plugs into the box nice and firm. Okay? Make sure you got electricity to your socket. Plug it in. And then see on the back here, I'm going to plug it in right there. Okay? So plug that in, get a little beep. Now we know we got electricity to the unit. Comes on the front. Turn on the power. And you can see here why we're going to show you the cleaning, because our light is blinking. This is the one we've used in our home since last November. So when it comes on, we're going to engage a little bit of ozone. And then if you want to ramp it up and have more, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, okay? And then this button over here is simply your fan speed. So it's very quiet there, and quite frankly, it's pretty quiet on fan speed 5. So this tells you your ionizer is working, your bipolar ionization to get contaminants out of the air. You can see your cell is working, and you can see the blinking light. And we'll show you when we get done here, if I remember, how to make that blinking light go away, okay? So we're going to turn it off and do maintenance. So we're going to make sure to unplug it, spin this around. Just got a couple little spring-loaded springs there. This pops out. Occasionally, might need to vac and or clean this. But you can see this has been running over 30 days in our home. No dogs, no kids. So it's pretty clean. There's a little tiny screw you can see here. It comes from the factory that way. You can leave it out if you like, but it's really there to hold this filter pack in place. So like if a kid popped this off, and you were worried about somebody getting in there, then it holds it in place. So in or out doesn't affect the operation. This is your filter pack, and you should always be, if it doesn't need to be replaced, you should be able to hold it up to light, see light through it. And really only in the dirtiest of applications, like in a gym or where there's dogs and things like that, you can get a lot more particulate matter on the back, a lot more fine dust that's going to clog that filter faster. But other than that, it's going to last a while. So you should be able to see light through it. Just use your fuzzy attachment, the brush, and just carefully suck off the hairs or whatever's on there. Do that across the top. You can do it across the back, and you're kind of set to go a little further. All right. I've taken a few things out. You'll need a flathead screw to get these thumb screws started the first time. After that, just tighten them back up with your fingers. The little clip here, and I'm going to push down on the top of that electric clip, pull it out, and then you can see this guy, he just rocks right on out. And then here's your purification plate that has to do with ozone. You might see there's a metal band on top and on bottom. They have to be touching that plate, those wires. So it's a little easier if you push up on the top one or the bottom one in order to slide it out. All right, that's the purification plate. This ceramic is pretty brittle. And what we're going to do, we've learned that you can, you need to soak this for about 8 to 9 minutes in a 50-50 solution of ammonia and water. So you can make that solution up in a little dish, let it soak for about 8 to 9 minutes. You take it out, little toothbrush, brush off both sides, rinse it off really good, but then you got to let it air dry or you got to blow dry it. So what we've learned to do is we get us a spare. And I don't know, spares retail for about $25. I don't have it in front of me. So anyway, that allows us, after we wash and dry that one, it'll go in this box. Air and Surface Pro, it only goes in one way. It also fits some other older style models, but that's the way it goes in. So you can wipe out the insides of this. You might see, if you can show in there, Lori, the ionizer, the needlepoint RF ionizer. It might have some dust on it sometimes. And if I don't see anything on there, you're going to worry about it. And that's good. Make sure you get this lined up in those grooves. Like so. I'll get it started right, it'll be just fine. Then we're just going to push it on in, and I can see that the top metal band and the bottom metal band are touching those wires. If you bend up too far when you're going to get that out, and it doesn't, and you don't notice it, and it's not making contact, you're not going to get the ozone generated that you want. Okay, so if there is any dust up here, you want to wipe that off. You can, once you have the plate out, you can get in there a little bit. If you see dust or things, you can wipe out. So, the other thing I want to show you is just, I already took out the screws. There's 2 screws here. They're Phillips heads. And just pop this top off. Okay, you might be able to see. That's about 5 weeks or so of running. You can see those blades are a little dusty. And so I'm just going to show you this, that little pair of pliers hold the blade at the hub. And we just got to start it just a little bit. And you can do it with your hands. It's just a little thumb screw. This comes out. And below it, you can see there's a washer. So it sits on top of a little seed clamp there. And you just want to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom of this. When you take it out, it could fall off and then you don't have it. So just know that's the only little removable part. The blades only go on one way. Don't put them on this way. Put them on this way. And I'm not going to take the time right now to wash the blade while you're here. We'll do that after we go. So we're going to set that back on top. And we're going to put a little thumb screw back on and just hand tighten it. And then I'm going to give it just a little bit more so it's nice and snug. That should spin freely. So when you put this back together, this really just goes in one way and kind of snaps into place. I'm going to go ahead and put these little screws back in, like so. Like so. We put our cell back in, kind of rocks in from the bottom over those threaded screws, and plug that in right here at flip. There we go. I'll put these on, little thumb screws. These don't need to be tightened with I'm just going to turn this around. I'm left-handed, but for some reason, I can thread things easier with my right hand. So just bear with me a second. Screw those in place. Maybe I'm just as bad with either hand. I don't think it's going to matter. Get that started and then we'll go. There we go. It's just me. It lines up pretty nice in these devices. So we got that in place. We're going to put this in. Longer stem here than here, so it can only go in one way. It'll actually knock a switch down that allows electricity to come into the unit, so it's kind of a safety device. This little screw here, oops, it just goes back in. And again, in your home, you don't necessarily have to have that screw in place, but it is a handy place to keep it. And then this, 2 tabs in the bottom, hooks back into the top, plug it back in, and you're ready to go. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. You definitely want to take your time doing the maintenance each month. Don't just let it sit in a corner and forget about it. And then what you can do, you'll see on here, because when you turn this back on, your cleaning light's going to still be blinking. And you can see here it says reset. So while it's on, while the light's blinking, you just lay your finger over that. And it takes about 4 seconds, and you'll hear a little beep when it's plugged in. So anyway,